he got here that maybe y'all didn't even get to see from him in high school during the recruiting process?
Oh, absolutely. What I saw early was when you get in real competitive situations, you're in two-a-day camp and you're competing and the tempers are flaring. He's a very competitive young man. I mean, that's really when he's at his best, is when everybody's kind of getting uptight and the temperature's rising, and that's really when he's at his best. He's very, very competitive.
I think y'all touched the story before, just kind of going all the way across the field during one day in training camp to chase somebody
just
down,
continually did it. I had to actually slow him down because, you know, what we call take the big picture on the backside. He'd just take off running. So, you know, it was a learning experience that way. But yeah, again, that goes into the great condition he came in.
How much did about the difficulty of trying to deal with Patrick Tolles and containing him in their offense, because they've got good receivers and running backs?
They have really good skill on the outside. You know, I think they have good speed. But the quarterback, he's the real enigma. You know, just that you gotta really be on your points this week, meaning that you're trying to rush the passer, but you don't want him coming through there. You know, same thing the quarterback runs. I mean, I think he's an outstanding player.
He's a big guy too.
Yeah, he's big.
240 is.
We've showed him a lot of clips where guys hit him and he didn't go down. You know, guys, Georgia had a couple last week where really should have been a sack, but he just, you know, the guy fell off of him. So, you know, again, that's been a point of emphasis this week, you know, and I think he's an outstanding player and takes a little adjustment as far as your game plan against him.
He ran for almost 80 yards against Mississippi State, so he does have really good mobility, doesn't he?
He's surprisingly fast. You know, somebody will have the angle on him and you think they got him, and then all of a sudden he'll kind of get around the angle. So he has surprising speed.
Since his defense gave up very few splash plays the first 7 games, the last 2 games didn't do as well in that area. What did you see, and how important is that against a Kentucky team with a little more experience?
Well, it's absolutely, because if you look at their Mississippi State game, they were all big plays. I mean, Mississippi State was really sound except for the big plays they gave up. Really looked just like our South Carolina game. So, you know, we talk about, you know, that's beating yourself when you make mistakes like that and give up plays, and that's not taking credit away from offenses, but if you're in position to make plays, you got to make them. So, you know, a lot of it's the mental aspect and being sound, and then the ability to get them down.
How much did your guys need that bye week? I know you want to have tough guys and they're giving you everything they got and you don't want to give them any excuses, but how much did they up front need that bye week?
We absolutely needed it, and I think it came at a great time, and I think Coach Jones did a great job of managing the schedule, you know, getting the right amount of work but not overdoing it. And then, you know, part of that's the mental part of it too, is, you know, not only physically ground up, but the mental grind of week after week after week. So I think it was a great break for us, and so now we're ready to go.
How far does your depth need to go to get where you would like it to be up front? I mean, how much of a gap is there between what you got and what you'd like to have?
Oh, I think you're kind of on the pair and a spare philosophy right now with the 2 starters and 1 guy's rolling in, and you'd like to get to that 2 deep, so you're playing with 8, and at times you could get up to 10. When you're really clicking, you got 10 guys playing, but you know, you'd like to have 8. We're at the 6-7 range right now.
How much more difficult does that make it, just for someone who really likes football but doesn't, you know, isn't immersed in it every day, isn't coaching every day? How much more difficult does that make it when you'd like to have 8 or 10 and you have 6?
Well, it makes it difficult on the young men because, you know, they have to have a great mental toughness. Just you know, Jordan Williams had 70-something, high 70 reps last week. That's way too many. So, you know, it's hard on them. But also, you know, you just like to be fresh and quick and all those things. I just give our guys great credit. You know, at the end of the South Carolina game, a lot of people said, man, it looked like the first play of the game in overtime. So I give them credit for their conditioning level and their mental toughness.
How much? I know there's a lot more plays in football than there used to be, so many hurry up, you know, spread offenses, but what's a good number average wise maybe for an end or a tackle to play in a game?
Well, you'd like to have your tackles in the 40s. You know, your ends can go 50 or 60, but you'd like to keep those defensive tackles in the 40 range.
And when you got them at 60 and 70, that's obviously not where.
Yeah, it's not what you want. I mean, a lot of people in the country do it, but that's not what you'd ideally like.
I guess especially